Okay, for the next video, we're going to discuss or we're going to demonstrate how to create checkpoints. So before we can do a respawn of the player, we need to do checkpoints first. So what is a checkpoint? So basically, checkpoint is a point in a particular game where the player records their location and progress, just in case the player, let's say, died or the player fall. So we will respawn that one. We will respawn the player in that particular position. Okay, so for this one, we're going to follow this script here, topic 11. Okay, so I'm going to upload this red flag or green flag, or feel free to use your own flag if you want, but I will upload this in our assignment. So I already took the liberty of uploading it. I put it in my others folder inside Sprite. We already have the green flag and red flag. So what's gonna happen, red flag, if the player haven't reached that checkpoint, and we're gonna put green flag once the player got in contact with that checkpoint. And also we're gonna add a bit of sounds, Jua. So I think here I'm gonna make use other sound here because I don't want to import another sound for now lah. But if you guys want to have an imported sound or you want to import a sound for checkpoint, it's up to you. Like a bell or anything. Okay. Okay. So let's say what we're gonna do first, we're gonna set up our flag, red flag, to any point of our checkpoint. So example, we just need to do it one, and then we're gonna create a what we call prefab. So let's say my checkpoint is just right here. So please change the sorting layer to, let's say, foreground, and resize it so that it's visible enough. Sorry, I said resize. Okay, so I think that's big enough. Okay, so we're gonna add a tag. We will just call this checkpoint, and we're gonna add a collider. So we're gonna create a, let's say, box collider. Okay, no need to adjust anything as long as it's covering the item. So or the sprite, no need to adjust it. And then make sure you click is trigger. And after that, put it in your prefab. Oh wait, we need to create the code first for that one. So then we have to create a code checkpoint controller, or yeah, checkpoint script. It's just a name. Okay, so we're gonna assign or drag the checkpoint script into the flag. So I click the flag, checkpoint script. Alright, so it's already here. So now you can drag this to your prefab. So you can use it balik-balik. So now let's open checkpoint script. So in our checkpoint script, we need to declare the variables red flag, green flag, checkpoint sprite, and checkpoint reached. Okay. So there's no rigid body, so we're gonna do sprite renderer. So public, I have to make it public. Okay. Sprite, red flag, public, sprite, green flag. So wrong spelling here. Okay. Then private sprite renderer, sprite renderer, checkpoint sprite. Or I'll just make it checkpoint sadya. And public boolean checkpoint reach. Public boolean checkpoint reach. All right. Now we have to initialize the sprite renderer because this checkpoint is attached to this script. So checkpoint equals to get component sprite renderer. All right. Okay, we're just gonna do some things first, like if the player triggers or get in contact with the checkpoint, we're just gonna change the sprite from red flag to green flag. But before we can do that, we have to go here below, click on the red flag, and here we created two public variables for the red flag. You notice red flag none, green flag none. So for this, you have to go to your sprites, others, depends on where you placed it. Okay, click on red flag again. So basically red flag is red flag. Green flag is green flag. The idea here is we're gonna swap the sprite whenever the player got in contact with the checkpoint. So I'm gonna save this, and here in our code, we're gonna create void on on trigger enter 2D collider 2D other. So since we already tagged the player, we're just gonna go straight other that tag equals to player. So we're gonna change the sprite renderer of the checkpoint from red flag to green flag. So checkpoint equals to green flag. Okay, we're gonna swap it. Checkpoint dot sprite, dot sprite, and then we're gonna change the checkpoint reach to true. Checkpoint reach to true. So we will test it. So if the player got in contact with the naman yan checkpoint, that checkpoint should change from red to green flag. You can choose other methods of checkpoints jua. If you don't want flag, bula jua. Okay? Kan tukar to green. So it works. So now, okay. So we already created it, so please apply so that it will be saved on the prefab. So you can drag it. Depends on where do you want the prefab. Where do you want it to appear? Checkpoint should be a bit distance lah, or a bit far, so that there's a bit of challenge for the player. Let's say, yeah, sala. Okay. So for the sounds of adding sounds, it's a bit easy po lang. I might discuss it in a while. Tukar. Right? Ito na. So we need the checkpoint for respawn, or else we will respawn from the beginning. So we don't want it to be like that. So now, just for we're just gonna add a sound. It's just kajap saja. I may have some sounds here that I can use for you guys. Tapi I prefer to use any other, what we call this? Any other sounds that is meaningful. I'm looking for sounds here right now. If I have it here, but there's a lot of, what do you call this? Files. So I'm just gonna use an existing one from our resources here. So let's say I'm just gonna use explode. Okay? So in order to do this, it's really sanang. We just need to go to the sound manager. Okay, I'm gonna create here another variable. I'll just call it checkpoint. So please download any other sound for checkpoint. So right now, checkpoint. The name of the file is, maybe I'll use deflate. Inflate. Inflate. Take note, everything that's inside here is the name of the file in your resources folder. Should be resources with S. Now copy this. The text trigger is checkpoint. And we're going to play the sound checkpoint. Now the trigger of the checkpoint will happen when the player got in contact with the checkpoint. So here, sound manager that play sound, the text to trigger is checkpoint. So we're gonna try this first. Hopefully it works. Oh, ito the sound. Bita the sound niya. So please download any other sound. I use inflate, so use other sound. Okay. So I'm gonna stop the recording. In the next video, I will demonstrate how to do the respawn, and also we're gonna create let's say a player health here. But the player health, we're just gonna use numbers dulo. So let's say the player health will be 100, but when the player falls, we're gonna reduce it by another like 10 and so on.